All right, here we go, episode 16. As you can see, we got a first round bye so far, but we still got 5 games left. And a non-conference opponent this week visiting the Rams. So we are going to set Derek Carr, Josh Jacobs, and Hunter Renfrow due to extreme fatigue on those two players' part. Seems to be a big part of Madden this year. But so those 3 guys are going to set, and we're going to run backups non-conference matchup here.
Tonight, from SoFi Stadium in Inglewood, California, it's a special prime time edition of the NFL on EA Sports. As we'll see Matthew Stafford and the Los Angeles Rams taking on Chris Streveler and the Las Vegas Raiders.
It's the National Football League presented by EA Sports. Tonight we start Week 14 with a great Thursday night matchup between the Las Vegas Raiders and the Los Angeles Rams. Along with Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. And Charles, you look at this Rams team as they interplay. They were winners last time out, so they'll be looking, Charles, to make it 2 in a row.
And what I enjoyed when I watched their game tape and their victory last week is they put it together in every phase. Good offense, good defense, and some key plays on special teams. Let's see if they can get that second win in a row.
And they will elect to not bring this one out as our first drive will begin at the 25. Now here comes the Los Angeles offense and the man in charge of it in his second season with the team, 14th overall in what's been an impressive career, Matthew Stafford.
And they are in rhythm on offense because of him. I mean, right now he's got everything going the way he wants to, finding the receivers the way he wants to, looking over defenses. No interceptions is the number I lock in on. Before a touchdown pass isn't so bad either.
Yeah, what a game he had last week. On first down, they'll start out with Akers. And right away, they're going to stack him up right at the line of scrimmage. Call it no gain on the game's first play. And it's second down now. And he got off the end there very quickly to make that play.
Yeah, it was almost like the bullet train, wasn't it? I mean, just zoom. Quick, quick, quick. And what a terrific play, holding them to no gain.
So after the run for no gain, here's 2nd and 10. Going right back to Akers. And he is met quickly in the backfield. Down he goes, folded like a lawn chair. It'll go as a loss of a yard, so now they deal with 3rd and 11.
This defense is a difficult one to prepare for, one of the best in the league. They'll come at you from all angles, and they did a nice job there stopping him for a loss.
Little trouble thus far on their opening drive as they come up on a 3rd and 11. Throwing is Stafford. He'll get this into the hands of Van Jefferson. And he's going to be stopped here a few yards short of the first as the tackle is made at the 33. It's a gain of 9, but it's also going to mean a punt here on their opening drive.
So much about offense is what you call hidden yardage. You know, you throw the ball to someone, they catch it, and then they can make a big play. You know, they create a play, run after catch. They did a really nice job there of limiting that and keeping him from a first down.
Yeah, stopped him in his tracks. 39-yard punt, 6 yards on the return. And it'll be Raiders football, 1st and 10. So out comes this offense to take over for the first time. And they'll start at quarterback, a former star up in the Canadian League. It's Chris Streveler.
We're seeing it more and more in this league, how teams love to have athletes back there taking the snaps, guys who can throw it and move around and get yardage with their legs if needed. He's one of the best examples that we see out there right now. He can throw for hundreds of yards one week and then run for 100+ the next. He adds an extra dimension that really confounds defenses when he puts it all together.
And not a whole lot of room to operate there on the first down run. He gets maybe 3. Well, this defense for the Rams, they were terrific a week ago in the win over Seattle.
And every defensive team that we talk to, they spend a lot of time talking about creating turnovers. And anytime you get 2 or more in a game, you've had a really good performance. They exceeded that number in a huge way. They got the football back 4 times in the win.
So give them 5 yards there on the pitch and catch. And it makes it 3rd down and 2 yards to go. They'll come to the line needing only 2 yards to gain the first here. Trying to run for it with Jacobs. And he's going to have a first down as he's brought down at the 44-yard line. They're able to convert with a gain of 4. The Raiders at 11-1 now on the year. Charles, they were losers last time out. What do you think they need to do differently here?
Well, I don't think it needs to be as drastic as burning up last week's game tape or not watching it, but the attitude has to be what's done is done. Let's move on. Put that one behind them, galvanize themselves, and go forward and get a win in this one.
Now hold everything here. We're going to get a timeout by the offense. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this first quarter. On first down, Drake. And he'll take this ahead for about 4. 2nd down coming up.
And that was a quality play to start a new set of downs. That was simply an offensive line winning the battle up front and winning in a big way and giving their guy in the backfield a nice lane to hit.
Following the pickup of 4, here's 2nd and 6. Here's Streveler to throw. And his throw here's incomplete. Hunter Renfrow is the man he was looking for. And that'll make it 3rd down.
Not sure what happened there, but he just didn't get the right read on the coverage that time. Pass wasn't where it needed to be, and that'll send them back to the drawing board.
Now they set up the screen. That's complete. And he's going to be taken down at about the 33. Charles, Thursday night game, I think a lot of teams probably say shrink the playbook somewhat. Is that correct?
I think you're right about that because you just don't have the amount of time that you have in a normal week to put in a full playbook. So as you said, you shrink the playbook, pick out the plays that work best for you. You know what else you're looking for?
What's that?
Who are the freshest guys coming off of the last game to play on a Thursday night? Guys have a little extra pep in their step. You go to them early and often. Oh, that's a real nice job there by the defensive front. They just engaged and held their ground. But how about the guy who made the play? We often talk about whether they take a good first step or not. Many times you just don't take any step. Just get your feet moving, get your body going, and then once he made the read, he was able to make the play.
Devontae Adams, the intended receiver, and it's 3rd down.
That was a nice job defensively of disguising their coverage and making it difficult for the quarterback to lock in on a receiver, and it results in an incomplete pass.
They got to get to the 23 here on third. Now Strebler. Open man is Westbrook, complete. And he's brought down, but not before he reaches the 8-yard line. They're able to convert on third down, and that sets up a 1st and goal.
That's a sharp throw right there on third down. They're looking to get the first points of the game, and they certainly don't want it to be on a field goal. So that's a nice job to get the hook up and set up a 1st and goal.
Here we go now on 1st and goal. To throw is Strebler. And that is incomplete. Oh, the coverage a little too good there, and it's 2nd down.
Brandon, we saw these defenders flying to the football in their win last week, and nothing has changed. They're still moving around quickly and forcing incompletions.
Nothing on 1st down, so the ball remains at the 8-yard line, 2nd and goal. Up the middle they go with Drake. They'll get this halfway home from the 8 to the 4 on a gain of 4. 2 straight shots on the ground. Now on third, do you go to the air?
I think the possibility exists, and if you're doing it, you're probably going play action since you ran it twice. But I often think that 2nd down is the time you go play action and throw the ball. I say commit to the run and think about it being 4-down territory.
They'll look to throw on 3rd and goal. And that is caught. Touchdown, Raiders. D.D. Westbrook, his first touchdown on the year. And the Raiders are on the board first on the road here in L.A. Well, you've got to like that start on both sides of the football. You force the 3 and out, and then you score on your first drive.
Well, I know someone who doesn't like that start.
Well, yeah, the other side.
Yeah, they don't like that at all, right? This is not the way it's supposed to be. But what you just described, that's team football, all right? When you get a 3 and out, you're supposed to take advantage of it on the offensive side of the ball. You said, thank you very much for getting us the rock. Let's put it in the end zone, and they did exactly that.
The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. And they'll start at the 25 as Powell decides against returning it. So the Rams coming back onto the field, their 2nd drive of the game. And they come off a victory over the weekend, but now the quick turnaround here for this Thursday night game. How does that affect how teams like this approach these short turnarounds?
Well, wins and losses always factor into, how you're getting ready for the next game. But equally as important when you have the short turnaround, what is your injury situation? Are you losing key guys? And if so, how well have the backups prepared for this? Because you don't have much time to get them ready. They have to be ready before this week in order to play well in this game.
These are his numbers from last week's contest. 12 carries, 68 yards.
And now that he's playing a Thursday night game, short week, he spent a lot of time in the trainer's room in the cold tub trying to get his legs back for this game.
2nd down, they'll go with Akers again. 4 yards the pickup, 1st down.
It's nice every now and then in this game not to see people overthink it. Just hand it to the old reliable guy. Let him pick up the 1st down.
So from the 36 now, 1st and 10. Off the fake to Akers, here's Stafford. He's going to find Jefferson open downfield. And he'll have it past midfield almost to the 40 before being taken down. 23 yards, the final tally.
The goal for any offense versus his own defense, find the holes where guys are available and put the ball on the receiver before any defender can step up and fill it.
They did it well there. Perfectly executed crossing route. So here's a 1st and 10 now in Raider territory at the 41. Now a play fake, and it's Stafford. He lets this one fly toward the back of the end zone, and it is incomplete. Good positioning there downfield to break that one up. An incomplete pass on first down. That leads to a 2nd and 10. A shotgun snap for Stafford. And on the left sideline, he caught it, but out of bounds, according to the head linesman. Incomplete. So the ball a little late getting there, and it's 3rd down. So back-to-back incompletions, and that has him staring at a 3rd and 10. Now Stafford. He rifles one, and that's going to be intercepted. Picked off by Jayon Brown. And the Raiders are going to take possession as they've got it at the 42-yard line. So this is something we didn't see at all from this offense in the victory last week. That's a turnover. They didn't have any, but giving the ball away here in the opening quarter.
I love the surprise in your voice because it's exactly what you stated. Didn't see it last week, but it's a key to their win. And it'll be a key to this game as well, protecting the football. Didn't get it done there.
The Raider offense set to get this drive started. They'll start in excellent field position following the INT. A good running there by Jacobs on first down as he's able to take this forward for a gain of 6. After one, 7-0 on EA Sports. The last run got 6, now 2nd and 4. Now a run up the middle with Drake. Room here to run. And he is in. Touchdown, Raiders. Kenyon Drake, his 3rd rushing touchdown on the year. And the Raiders are able to strike quickly to add on to their lead. And on that long run, maybe the defense caught napping a little bit.
The concentration level may not have been there. I agree with you on that one because those types of plays, when they result like that, they're almost like big bolts of lightning, aren't they? Whoosh, and off he goes.
Extra point by Carlson, up and good. And it's now 14-0. It only took him 2 plays there to find the end zone. The last one, the long run, getting him in for 6 points. On as the Raider kickoff unit now as they will send this one away. And they'll start at the 25 as Powell decides against returning it. And the Rams now coming out on the field. As the offense comes out here, Charles, remember they threw the interception last time out, but they were moving the football down the field. Looked like they were going to have a sustained drive that ended in points, but then the pick ensued.
And because of that, there's no way you can call the last drive a success. Yes, there are things to build on because they found some play calls that work. Now, they've got to build another drive and find a way to avoid the turnover that plagued it on the last one.
Maybe a good spot to take a shot. Here's 2nd and a yard from the 34. To throw is Stafford. And this one incomplete. Too much contact to hold on to that one, and it's 3rd down.
And he's only hit on 2 of his first 6 passes. Time for a quick quarterback regroup here with a big 3rd down coming up.
They'll try and run for this with Akers. And he's taken down at the 43, but not before picking up the first. 9 yards on the pickup there, and it keeps the drive alive.
Even though they gave up more than they wanted to on that play, it actually illustrates how well they bottled him up throughout the game because that was his longest run of this contest.
Now a first down throw. Stafford got a man open. It's Tyler Higbee. Give him a gain of 5 on the completion, and that'll make it 2nd down.
The completion was given up, but that's why you play zone defense, so that you can have people around the ball when it's caught, and you don't give up much run after the catch.
Working with 2nd and 5 now. Stafford going to give this to Akers. And he's fortunate to get anything from that. Give him a yard up to the 49.
I know that speed is the hallmark of today's NFL game, but the key to good rushing defense is still having your linebackers set the edge.
The Rams on third down. Just 1 for 3 thus far. This is 3rd and 4. Here's Stafford. Gonna let one fly for Robinson. And a high throw there as this is knocked away, down to the ground and incomplete.
Well, he leads the NFL in interceptions and nearly added to that total.
Got his hand on it, couldn't quite corral it. It's been a Pro Bowl type season for him, and the term ball hawk really comes into play, doesn't it?
Yeah, I like that one a lot because teams want to avoid that type of a player, but sometimes you just can't. He just knows where the ball is.
On 4th down, Joseph Charlton on to punt. This is away, but boy, headed straight for the sidelines. And this will be out of bounds. Now it's a question of where they'll mark it. And they'll say it crosses at the 11-yard line. Now this offense back out and set to go for their next drive. Now their dreams of an undefeated season shattered with the loss a week ago. Now look, whenever an undefeated team goes down, you always hear some say, well, they needed that. I don't know, Charles. Is that a narrative that you buy into?
Well, I haven't met a coach yet that feels like they needed that loss. You know, that's not something that they're in favor of. But I do know this. People like us, our colleagues, all of us in the media, constantly hammering a team that's undefeated. Hey, do you think you can do it the whole season? Can you carry it the whole way? That does wear down a group. And sometimes that loss, get us off your back, you can move forward from there.
Out of the shotgun, Strebler. Escaping the pressure right. Pass incomplete, but the flag in the backfield, and this might be a roughing call. So roughing the passer penalty and an automatic 1st down.
And that's the mark of a bad team, partner, because that's an easily preventable penalty, but they just didn't take the proper steps to make it so.
On the give, this is Drake. And give him 6 yards here as he stopped near the 35 at the 34.
If you're in the offensive huddle, you're smiling after that play because you've certainly got them guessing now. 2nd and short, could they just hand it off for another big gain? Or did they take advantage of this spot to take a big shot downfield?
Here's a throw right side taken in by his tight end. And they bring him to the ground just shy of midfield. A 14-yard gain there as they look to improve this 14-point lead. Now a handoff for Drake. And he's got room. And all the way inside the 15 before they drop him. 109 yards for him on the ground so far tonight as he has been terrific in this first half.
This has been a good drive so far, and it's been the running game for the most part that's powered them down there. Another nice burst there, picking up a 1st down. Now it's 1st and 10, as you said, in the red zone.
So how about this for field position after the big play? Inside the 15 now as they come up on 1st and 10. They go back to the ground, this time Jacobs. And this play goes nowhere, losing yardage back to the 15. He was trying to clear the way, the big fullback. Instead, he gets a hold.
And you don't see that very often on running plays from those guys because usually they're the lead blocker. Normally, when he gets caught, it's in a passing situation.
So following the hold, they're in a bit of a hole here with a 1st and 20. To throw is Strebler. And he takes a shot on the release as this will be incomplete.
Partner, what we're seeing so far is the defense is certainly coordinated. Both levels doing their jobs in tandem. The back helping the front helping the back. The pressure got home on that last play and forced him to try and throw through contact and short of the sticks.
So they'll come up after the incompletion for 2nd down. Strebler to throw it. He finds his man, complete. It's Jacobs. And he'll be marked down right at the 15-yard line.
And that doesn't have to gain big yardage to be an impactful play because if you can get those pass rushers second-guessing themselves, that they might get hit with a screen, maybe you can wind up slowing them down just a step. And if you do that, That's a win for that play.
7th play of this drive coming up, but a long way to go on 3rd down. Here's Strebler. That's into a crowd and intercepted. Picked off by Darquez Dennard. And the Rams are going to have it here at their own 9-yard line.
Absolutely a golden opportunity missed there to add to their lead and really cap off an impressive drive because they've got the advantage and plenty of time to add to it. But on the flip side, plenty of time for an opposing comeback as well. So when you have the chance to distance yourself from opposition so early, partner, you know you don't want to let it slip away.
And the Rams getting set to go now. They got the ball now following a big play, keeping the other guys out of the end zone. Now they'll start deep in their own territory, 1st and 10. They'll begin on the ground with Akers. And just not much to be had there. 1 yard out to the 10. If you're going to run against this unit, especially down here, just beware. I mean, they're the top rushing defense in the league.
Yeah, and then they go ahead and they double down with the whole thing because you think, okay, let's throw the ball. Oh, yeah, that's right. They defend the pass pretty well, too. Very difficult task right now.
A reminder, coming up at halftime, Jonathan Coachman will join us from Orlando with our halftime report. But business to take care of before we get there.
A 2-minute drill before the coach's 2-minute drill.
Stafford's throw pulled in by Jefferson. It'll be a gain of 5, and that'll bring us to a 3rd and 4. In search of 4 yards here to pick up the 1st down. Here's Stafford. Gets this into the hands of the tight end, Higbee. And he is going to have a Rams 1st down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion. Throw left side, taken in by Jefferson. And he's brought down, but not before a really nice stiff arm to create a little space. Again, it's Stafford. And the hook up here to Allen Robinson. And he goes out right around the 39. A couple of vets, Stafford to Robinson there. 1st down Rams. From the gun, here's Stafford. This one brought in by Jefferson. The Rams going to go ahead and use the first of their timeouts as they get the stoppage with a little over 50 seconds to go in the 1st half. From the 50, it's Stafford. That'll be caught by Kupp. And they'll get him down on the other side of midfield. Now another timeout called for by the offense as the clock shows 50 seconds to play here in half number 1. To the air again, Stafford. And that one his first incompletion in its last 6 passes. And it's 3rd down.
To this point, I've been impressed with the work defensively. They have not allowed a lot of receivers to run free. And there's another example, another incompletion.
Play number 9 on the drive coming up, and they need 9 yards on 3rd down. Back to throw, Stafford. This is intercepted. Picked by Trayvon Mullen. And the Raiders force the turnover. They'll take over at their own 27. That's back-to-back drives that have looked pretty good. The offense was moving the ball, but in both cases, the defense comes up with a big INT to get off the field.
How about the layers of intrigue that continue to get added as we watch this game unfold? Both offenses, they're a little bit discouraged with how their drives ended. How will each respond now and can either mount another positive series that ends in points for their team?
Trying to shake off the interception from the last drive. He'll look to throw. This will be stopped about 2 yards shy of the marker. 8-yard gain, 2nd and 2. Now another timeout called for by the offense as the clock will stop with 35 seconds to go in quarter number 2. And he'll go out of bounds, it looks like, right at the 40. 5 yards on the scramble, and that's enough to pick up the first. On 1st and 10, here's Strebler. And here is a leaping catch. He pulled it in. And he'll be tackled on the other side of midfield at the 46-yard line. Now the Raiders going to burn their third and final timeout. And with halftime on the horizon, they'll be out of timeouts from here forward. On first down, it's Strebler. And he'll go out of bounds right around the 40. The improv on the scramble there gets him 6, and it'll be second down.
I did like his decision-making there to make sure they picked up something instead of forcing a throw. Now they've got more manageable play coming up to try and pick up the first down, and don't rule out the possibility that he just keeps it and runs again.
On second down, Strebler. And is this intercepted? It is. It's intercepted. Picked off by the linebacker, Bobby Wagner. And the Rams are going to have it here just past the 25. That's now his second interception in as many weeks from his linebacker position.
And think about all the different techniques he has to employ in a passing situation. Is he spot dropping because it's zone? Is he picking up man-to-man? Is he having to run with a running back or a tight end? In any event, great eyes, head on a swivel, and excellent hands.
Yeah, versatility and showing those hands. The final shot before the break, Stafford. Oh, going for Jefferson downfield. And this a leaping effort, but it's knocked away and incomplete. So we've reached halftime with the visiting Raiders out in front. As we send you to our EA studios in Orlando, here's Jonathan Coachman with our EA Sports Halftime Report.
All right, Brandon, thanks very much. We'll get back to you two in just a moment. First, we just want to give everybody a look ahead to what's in store for us this weekend as we enter the final month of this NFL season. One of the best of the early games, we'll highlight it there. The Giants in for a stern test at home at MetLife Stadium as they get set to host the Philadelphia Eagles. Plenty to like about the late afternoon games as well. As you see by the highlight, these guys are in for a battle, taking on the Miami Dolphins. And then finally, we finish off Week 14 in the desert. It's the Patriots and Cardinals from Glendale. Meanwhile, in our game, it's been a back-and-forth first half. Who can put it together in the second half? For the answer, we turn it back over to our broadcast team of Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
All right, Coach, thank you, and we welcome everyone back for quarter number 3. The Raiders with the lead already, and they will get the football here as the second half is now underway. Taking it about the 1. And a decent return out to the 27-yard line. Out comes the Raiders offense. They'll go on offense first to start quarter number 3. And, Charles, they've got the lead. I would imagine the overall halftime tone was a positive one, but what do you think the talking points were in the locker room?
Well, if there were 3 talking points at the half, partner, all of them were about turnovers because they were pretty loose with the ball. Otherwise, this lead could be even bigger. Now, I don't think that they overly harped on it, but I think they told them, guys, if you want to keep calling those plays that are exciting, you've got to take care of the ball. Otherwise, we may have to dial things back a little bit.
Here's Drake one more time on second down. And he gets this to the 35. Good for a gain of 5.
Well, you certainly have to give a little credit here because they're playing this game now at their pace. This is ball control football, sustained runs, taking their time, and making it work.
Now Strebler. And he's going to have to eat this one as down he goes. Leonard Floyd, he's the one to get him, and that is sack number 7 for him on the year.
They need to stop to get back into this game, and here's one right to start the third quarter.
Yeah, anytime you go into the lockers with that 2-3 score deficit, you're right. You need that stop, get the football back, and they've done just that.
Series to series, play to play.
Here's A.J. Cole now. And the way this offense has moved the ball, he hasn't been needed till here in the third. Oh, it's a wobbler here. Fair catch called for and made, but now we'll have to see about the penalty. Well, that was pretty obvious. He didn't let him catch it.
Agreed, and what's hard is you make that long run downfield to try and cover it, but you got to locate the football as well.
Now it's 1st and 10 after a costly penalty there on 4th down. They'll go with Akers here up the middle. And he's going to take this one down to the 25. 40 yards rushing for him now to this point.
He hadn't had a ton of success here so far, but you get the feeling that he might be on the verge of popping one.
Yeah, even on that one, there was a little bit of a hole, but it closed there quickly at the end. And he's left with no option here but to throw it away.
Well, they certainly aren't letting up today, partner, because they've forced big turnovers already, and it's been incredibly tough for them to get yards against, let alone put points up on the board.
On Stafford for the 3rd time is intercepted. Jonathan Abram picks it, and the Raiders are going to take over once again with a football at their own 20-yard line. Well, that's 3 picks he's now thrown in this game.
And I know this, the holiday season, because here we are in December.
Season of giving.
Right, it is the season of giving. Maybe for his own sake after the game, he may have to announce that he's donating certain amounts to charity for each interception that he threw.
And he'll work this forward for about 3 at 2nd down.
Well, that's just a pile of bodies there, and that's when you kind of find out who's a tough guy, right? Who can stand up and make a play. It was only a 3-yard run, but for both sides, they had to walk away from that feeling like, okay.
Nowhere to go here. He lost the football. And now the Rams have got it, going the other way. And they are going to take over right there at the 22-yard line. Well, let's see now, Charles. That's 7 turnovers between last week and this week. 3 here in this game, 4 in last week's game.
You know I do my research, right? And I go all the way back to the best coaches that have ever been in this game, and all of them started with ball security in some form or another, understanding that taking care of the ball was the key to winning games. They can't believe what they're seeing right now because they spend all this time on it with the fundamentals, taking care of it, tucking it away, and they're not doing it.
That'll be caught. It's Cup. And stopped a few yards shy of the goal line at the 3. That puts him in excellent position, 1st and goal after a gain of 19.
How about the way they're moving the ball down the field? They had a big play a moment ago, followed it up with another nice one here, and before you know it, they're already looking at 1st and goal.
First and goal, and they got to be thinking a chance to get right back into this football game. Akers will score. Touchdown, L.A. That's a score you felt they had to have here in the 3rd quarter to get back in this game.
And you know that there's an emphasis on their side. Hey, we know this. We know where we are. But sometimes that binds you up so much that you try too hard, you don't get the score. A perfect combination of urgency, yet relaxed enough to get it done.
Extra point by Gay is up and good. And that'll make our score 14-7. After the touchdown, it's Gay to kick this one away. Here comes Darius Phillips out of the end zone. And ultimately, he stopped right where he would have been if he had simply gone down to a knee at the 25. And now this offense comes back out onto the field. Pretty important 3rd quarter drive for them. Momentum has sort of shifted the other direction after that last touchdown as they nurse this small lead. Drake will start the drive on the ground. And this will be a gain of 5 as he gets it to the 30.
Not a huge play, but I think they're more than happy with how it turned out. Don't be surprised to see them revisit that call because there was a lane there for more than just 5 yards. Put it in your back pocket and break it out when you need it later.
Stradler's throw pulled in by Renfro. And he'll be upended at the 33 following a gain of 3. And guess what? It brings up 3rd down.
Simple drag route here, lined up out left and tried to work his way back across the field. You probably saw me twitch there, partner, because I think he wanted the ball a little bit sooner. By the time he looked it in, defender was right on him.
And he's able to get the first before he's taken down at the 36. A third down gain of 3 yards, and that'll be enough.
And while it didn't work very well on that play, defenders on 3rd and short know it's going to be a quick read. And really, the quarterback's just going to turn around and hand it off. So that way, you're able to diagnose the play and try and get to the point of attack. But when you're dealing with a fullback, it's hard to knock him backwards.
And he's across the 40, 3 extra yards to the 43. 132 yards for him on the ground now. He has been a tough man to bring down all night. So they'll come up after the gain of 7 on a 2nd and 3. Off the play fake, it's Strebler. Gets this to Waller on the crossing route. He'll take this to the other side of midfield before going out of bounds. 50 catches for him now on the year, and he's got a first down.
Man coverage on the left side, so I really like the design of this play because they opened up the field and brought their tight end the other way on a crossing route. That's a lot of ground to cover if you're a defender. I've been there before, unable to stay with his man there.
And he picks up about 6 as he gets this down to the 41.
That's a strong pickup right there on first down, and as this drive goes on, we're seeing an offensive line and running game imposing its will.
Here's Drake one more time on 2nd down. And this winds up a pickup of 2, maybe 2.5 to about the 39. But not much on that run, Charles.
No, that's exactly the way to execute a run blitz there. They guessed correctly that they would move the ball on the ground, honed in on it, and stopped them. Mark that down for a win in the defense's column.
Sliding out of the pocket. And he will slide to a stop. He does have the first down. 4 yards there as they let him out of the pocket, and he got enough for the first. Under a minute to go in this 3rd quarter as they come up 1st and 10. Now they'll switch it up here and look to throw. And Waller taking it in over the middle. And he gets this one inside the 15, just a yard or 2 shy of the 10. The catch and run, good for 24 yards.
And this has been a nice answer to the touchdown drive against them a few minutes ago because they've come out and reestablished the tempo. A nice throw there, and they're putting together a very strong drive as a response.
Now Drake. And he will maneuver his way down to about the 7. A gain of 3, 2nd down. One quarter remains here in this Thursday night matchup. We'll return with more after this. This is the NFL, and it's on EA Sports. Throwing on 2nd down, Strebler flushed out right. And he'll take it into the end zone for a Raider touchdown. Chris Strebler with 2 touchdowns on the season, both in this game. And the Raiders look like they're going to get back in the win column as they extend their lead here in this 4th quarter. Well, that's certainly going to bump up the old win probability index because now it's a 2-score game here in the 4th quarter.
Yeah, you're taking me into that deep water now. Win probability index. This game's definitely not over. We're not looking at a 0.5% or something. It's just 2 scores. But the way that this team has played, to me, what I've seen, they absolutely deserve to win this game. They've been the better team by far throughout.
Extra point by Carlson, up and good. And it's now 21-7. The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. And they'll start at the 25 as Powell decides against returning it. The Rams ready to go on offense. As this offense comes back out here, Charles, they're trailing in this ball game. And they've been on the sideline for a while. They did score their last time out, but they just had to watch that long, sustained drive. So we'll see if they can shake the rust off.
Yeah, and that's always a question that you have when you have to come off the bench after having sat there for a long time. Are you ready to go? Are you loosened up? But even more so, are you mentally alert and ready to put your best product out there?
Meanwhile, Stafford's throw pulled in by Robinson here. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. That's a good way to start the drive. 17 yards and a first down.
All right, this is the time of the game where they're down a couple of scores, and they've really got to get some yards in chunks, and they know the defense doesn't want to give those up, but they've got to find a way to take them anyway.
Now the question is, can they string a few of those together? One play has them up past the 40 already, and another 1st and 10. Now Stafford. And that'll be knocked away. It's incomplete.
Well, he certainly thought he had a window to push that ball downfield, but as soon as he released the throw, the corner was there to slam that window shut.
To throw on 2nd and 10. Stafford. And for the 4th time tonight, it's an interception. Jonathan Abram picks it. And he takes this one back into the end zone, and the Raider defense delivers a score. Well, just to add that to the list of great moments for this defense today. They've really shredded that game plan on the other side all 4 quarters. And, Charles, that pick 6, that's kind of the cherry on top.
Yeah, they did it, and I feel like I'm quoting a bad movie line, but they did it together, didn't they? Fed off of each other, every big play they made, every tackle, every pick, everything they've done. They continually built energy in this one, and how about them culminating with a pick 6?
Extra point by Carlson, up and good. And the lead now to 3 touchdowns at 21. So they'll get another shot on offense following that pick 6. And now the kick is away. And they'll start at the 25 as Powell decides against returning it. As the Rams offense comes back out, here is the NFC playoff picture coming into the weekend. And I tell you, 4 weeks still to go, and everything is wide open, and it's fun.
And I know we always talk about, well, if the playoffs were to begin today, and then we kind of go, okay, but they're not. Let's see how it plays out. Wouldn't it be fun to play with this playoff lineup right now? Because to me, just about anyone can win this whole thing out of this grouping we currently have. And by the time we get there, it may look entirely different.
Stafford here coming off his pick 6. And the result here, a pickup of 8. Leaves him with 2 to go on 2nd down.
I always laugh when people say, what's the toughest route to defend? And I'm like, any of them, especially if it's a good receiver. That makes things very difficult. But when you're running a drag route, something short, shallow, going through defenders, using guys almost as screens in order to get open, that makes things tough for guys trying to get to the football.
It's a gain of 11 and a 1st down, L.A.
Well, I can put my defensive cap on right now, and I know they're saying don't give up any big plays now. They've controlled this game throughout, and all they want to do is see it through to the end. I think they let their guard down a little bit with that last completion. Sometimes when you're trying not to give up bigger plays, you don't react as fast as you should on other throws.
11 yards there, just like last play. So here's a 1st and 10 now in Raider territory at the 45-yard line. Throwing again is Stafford. Open man, Higbee, the tight end. And he's going to be marked down just inside the 35. Well, those are the types of plays they probably wish they had made more of in the first 3 quarters. And this deficit going to be tough to overcome here in the 4th. But a nice 1st down and a pickup on that throw.
Yeah, and this is where as coaches, you're looking for effort and execution. Even though the scoreboard is going against you, you want to find out who's going to fight, who's going to scrap, who's going to keep their heads up and continue to play.
To throw once more on 2nd and 10. Stafford. That's out to the flat for Akers. And they're going to move it down to inside the 25.
I think the best offenses love to get the ball to their running backs in open space because they have the ability to make people miss, and they also have the ability to run over people. And if you do that throughout the game, after a while, they might just run through some of those tackles and go a long way.
Well, we saw him shed a nice tackle on that play. A pickup of 5 that time and a 1st down. I think everyone in the stadium saw that big hit coming.
And I, as a former defensive back, have to admit I'm a little disappointed. He actually was able to hold on to the ball. He brought the lumber on that play. Give my man a whole lot of credit for taking the hit and possessing the football.
And picking up the 1st down. From the red zone now, Stafford. And they've got this down to about the 12-yard line.
When you see zone defense and you know you've got a drag route on as your primary call, you've got to be really careful as a passer about how far you let your guy go because he might wander into some tough coverage.
The 6 yards on the pickup, and it leaves them with a 1st and goal.
They were not fooling around at all, were they? 2nd and short, and they brought out the heavy package. Almost felt like the super heavy package against that defense, didn't it?
Yeah, I don't think they expected that much beef up front, and it turned into an easy 1st down conversion. And this is caught. He's got it. Touchdown, L.A. Van Jefferson, his 5th touchdown now on the year. And the Rams have got it back to a 2-score game here in the 4th. So a little bit of a letdown there defensively. I mean, look, you're still 2 scores to the good, CD, but things may be a little more uncomfortable than they had hoped.
Yeah, if you kept them out of the end zone there, this game's over. You've locked the door on them. Instead, it's still open a little bit, and they've got a puncher's chance.
Extra point by Gay is up and good. And that cuts the lead to 28-14. The Raiders going to use one of their timeouts. It's just their first. They'll be down to 2 remaining as we step aside here in the 4th quarter. 2 scores down, 3 timeouts left. Still a chance if they can somehow get this one back. And the hands team for the Raiders able to secure it. Well, 4th quarter, they felt like they needed the football back. Unfortunately, they couldn't get it.
And I know we brought analytics into the game, and someone has said here that the data says that when a team's expecting an onside kick, 80% of the time, the team expecting it, they do actually recover the ball, which is what we saw here. I just wonder if that number is much more of a anecdotal type of a number. Kind of like when the coaches tell us, well, when you score on special teams, 93% of the time you win the game. I'm still waiting to see that number is empirical.
Ernest Jones there for the tackle. And when do they start thinking about burning these timeouts? They've got all 3 still defensively.
To me, you have to start right now. Here's the time, and that means you've got to stop them on defense, not give up the yardage, use your timeouts in order to get the ball back and try and score yourself. But now is the time to start using those timeouts.
And keep in mind, it'll also stop the clock at the 2-minute warning. Back to the ground. This time it's Peterson. And a short gain there down to the 37-yard line. Alex Leatherwood, the Alabama man, called for the penalty there. Now they face a 2nd and long following the holding penalty. Right back to Drake. And he's going to be stopped up at about the 47-yard line. He'll get 2 yards back, but it's going to leave him with a long 3rd and 13. Two minutes left to play in this football game here on EA Sports. So it's Raider football as we get you reset. They've got a 3rd down now as they look for one more 1st down to help salt this one away. And not an easy spot here. They'll be in search of 13 yards to try to pick up the 1st. Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football. The 20, 10, and he will not get all the way home, but he will take this back down to about the 2-yard line.
Well, that's one of those mistakes. That's a fumble that when they get to the sidelines, I know you're mad, Coach, but look, we still got this locked down, but that's not necessarily true, is it?
Well, their hopes are slim, but you just hate to give them any hope. You could have sealed it right there.
Yeah, could have finished them off and taken away all hope, as we like to say.
How about this starting field position? 1st and goal from 2 yards out. Following the fumble recovery, Stafford. And that is incomplete here.
The nice thing is that you've still got all your timeouts, so the middle of the field, that should still be an option, especially if you see the defenders pinching the sideline. You can run a little seam route right here.
And this is caught now for a late touchdown. So hold everything here. This one's not over yet. Okay, game on. Don't go anywhere yet. You got a one-score game now. Probably going to rely on the onside kick coming up.
Yeah, they have to. It's not a high percentage play, but it's better than not having a chance at all. And that's when you put your leapers and your flyers on one side, get that high hop, and hope that one of the guys can come up with it.
And on the other side, you get that hands team ready.
No doubt about it.
Important extra point up and through. And now things get a bit more interesting here in this fourth quarter. Following the touchdown, here's Gay to kick it away. Phillips, he's not going to bring this one out, so they will begin the drive at the 25. The Raiders heading out to take over. And this game not quite over yet, and we'll likely see him take all three timeouts defensively, so they can't just kneel this one out. They're going to have to try to run a few plays.
You're exactly right. They've got to get a first down and make them use up all their timeouts in order to feel like they have this one in hand.
The Rams going to go ahead and use the first of their timeouts as they'll talk things over prior to this upcoming second down play. That one looks like he'll throw here. And that is incomplete. A lot of force bearing down on him there. He could not hang on. It's third down.
Well, you most certainly don't want to go 3 and out here and give the football right back, because your friend, Old Momentum, he's wondering if he should change sidelines about right now. And if you don't convert here, guess what? He's going to make the trek to the opposite side, and all of a sudden, you've got a battle on your hands.
Now a second timeout called for by the defense, as they'll get it with just under 90 seconds remaining. And not totally home free yet, but it's looking good as they come up 1st and 10. They'll try and wind down some clock with Peterson. And this will be stopped at the 44. That one good for 7 yards. The Rams going to be forced to use their third and final timeout as they'll talk things over prior to this upcoming second down play. They run again with Peterson. And taking it across midfield and inside the 45. That one good for 13 and a Raider first down.
I have to chuckle to myself a little bit, Brandon, because right now I could be in that huddle with that offensive line. I know exactly what they're saying. If you call a pass play here, we're going to call a timeout. Run the football. We got control of this thing. Get in behind us and let's go.
Their time to shine. Call it a gain of 11 yards, and that should just about do it.
That's pretty much meat and potatoes right there, wasn't it? Just go right at them and let your big horse charge up the middle. Not too fancy there, was it?
Nothing fancy at all, challenging that defense, and on that go-around, the offense won the challenge. Running, it's Drake. Bobby Wagner, the all-pro, in on the tackle. I guess the simple question, why not just take a knee there?
I don't understand either why you would take any sort of a chance. We've seen it happen in the game of football. Doesn't matter whether you've watched high school, college, or the NFL. Some people get a little greedy, try to get that extra running play in, and it can backfire on them.
And we will get a timeout with 2 ticks left. So here we go. Maybe the biggest kick of the game forthcoming. This to perhaps salt this one away. And the kick is good. So you wonder how this one might be remembered the next time these two teams meet. But until then, this game's over. So this one a victory for the Las Vegas Raiders. Well, Charles, I mean, when you look at the stat sheet, ultimately one thing sticks out like a sore thumb. One side lost this game because they turned the ball over 4 times, and that was just too much for them to overcome.
And that number might as well be in neon, because you're exactly right. It just jumps up from the stat sheet. Your eyes go right to it. And with that many turnovers, they really played themselves out of this game. Too careless with the football too many times. That cost them the victory.
So for Las Vegas, the win moves them to 12-1 now on the year. And they'll get a few days to savor this one before they take on the New England Patriots. Meanwhile, for L.A., any slim hopes they had at a playoff berth gone now as they drop to 4-9. And they'll try to get back to their winning ways next week as they head to Lambeau to take on the Packers. I'm Brandon Gaudin. Certainly have to thank Charles Davis, my broadcast partner, and our entire crew. We'll catch you next time right here. It's the NFL on EA Sports.